every scroll, another hot take, another food fad, another confident influencer declaring that they've cracked the diet code to perfect health.
Protein, protein, protein. Eating meat is what makes me superior as an athlete.
The human body was designed for meat. Period. No, we don't have claws, but look at the size of these canine teeth right here.
If you want to live stronger, you gotta ditch plants. Go full carnivore. I'm talking not even cooked, raw. Here, let me demonstrate.
Bold claims. But will they hold up under the microscope of a skeptic, or is this just another case of meat on the mind? Today we're digging into the carnivore diet, and we're asking, does eating primarily meat as a main source of nutrition really make us healthier, stronger, and live longer? Or are TV commercials, or even our own traditions and influencers, pulling the wool over our eyes and trying to feed us a raw deal? Hello, I'm Dr. Nadine Plummer, a naturopathic doctor, and welcome to The Healthy Skeptic. Today's trend is one that has been carving up social media feeds faster than a steak knife through butter. It's the carnivore diet. Proponents say it boosts athleticism, sharpens the mind, and guarantees longevity. But what does science actually say about a diet that is exclusively of meat and animal products? Forgive me, but I'm going to be just a little bit skeptical. One common argument for the carnivore diet is we were designed to eat meat. And yes, early humans hunted, including the Aleutians, who were great hunters, but they also foraged berries, roots, nuts, and tubers. Anthropological evidence shows that plants provided the majority of calories for many ancient populations. But even the amount of plant foods they consumed didn't stop them from suffering from heart disease. But if you go back, way back, to the Garden of Eden, where we saw firsthand the original design of human beings, mankind was plant-based from the design perspective. His teeth, his eyes, and the colon. First, the teeth. Animals like the lion started off plant-based but became carnivorous. Human teeth are built to grind plants, nuts, and seeds, not to rip meat. And our guts, if we look there, studies in comparative anatomy show the human digestive tract is optimized to be omnivorous more than true carnivores.
I think that it could be good if you're doing very good strength training, if you need the energy and stuff. I've seen my friend's daddy, he's on that diet. He wasn't back in 20 years ago, he was on that diet, but it was too expensive for him, so he stopped doing it. Yeah, what do you think?
I feel like if you got money, then it's worth to do the diet because you need all sorts of protein. Like you need your beef, you need your chicken, your fish. A lot of people cannot afford that, but I mean, if you want to, I feel like it's a good diet to do. But the best thing to do is I think you need some carbs in order to get your energy and stuff. That's what I feel like.
What about the arthritis?
Arthritis? I don't know. I feel like sometimes some people probably get that through genetics or something.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you can get that through carnivore diet.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing as him, with the energy levels, you need a bit of carbs in your, even some oatmeal or some fiber on the side is good too.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Not 100%.
Not 100%, but yeah.
Okay.
Well, in my honest opinion, I believe meat is great because there's a lot of proteins and amino acids that we can't get from any other food sources besides meat products. And there is an argument to be made for ketosis, where your body starts to produce its own energy from meat that it normally gets from carbs. However, going on a strictly only meat diet, it has its ups and it has its downs. Especially you talk about the Inuits, a lot of it is seafood. Seafood can be high in mercury content, which has been linked to cancer-causing carcinogens. So my stance is eat some bread here and there, essentially. Mix it up.
To better understand the motivation behind going on an all-meat diet, we connected with a person who's been doing it for 2 years straight. For Christina, fruits and plants are basically non-existent. Hi, Christina. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Christina, tell us a little bit about your journey into the carnivore diet. Like, why did you become carnivore?
About 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with lupus, an autoimmune condition. I was having a lot of digestive problems, inflammation. I had a friend recommend trying the carnivore diet. It's not something I went into it 100%. I slowly started cutting out carbs, vegetables, and fruits. And as soon as I went 100% into the carnivore, I noticed all my health conditions increased, got better. My autoimmune disappeared. I went and did blood work. My blood work showed it was 100%. I fell in love with it. The energy that I have now, it completely changed my life.
Wow. Can you tell us, just for example, what did you have for breakfast today?
I had steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs
Steak and
for
eggs.
breakfast?
Yes. Usually steak and eggs or bacon and eggs.
And what is the carnivore diet?
It's 100% food from animals. So I eat every type: seafood, pork, beef, chicken, turkey, eggs. I also eat liver. So it's just animal-based.
And does it include vegetables or
No
carbs?
vegetables.
Just pure,
Yes.
all animals?
Just pure protein and pure fat.
It is really trending, very popular right now. Do you know how it helps?
I think it's getting more popular because a lot of vegetables and fruit are being contaminated with pesticides. It's not necessarily the fruit and vegetables itself that's hurting people, but I feel it's the pesticides that are being sprayed. So a lot of people are going to carnivore because it's easy. You just go to the grocery store, go to the butcher and get meat. I get grass-fed. I go for the organic. Yeah, it does cost more, but you're investing in your health.
Christina, you mentioned that you had been diagnosed with lupus, correct?
Yes.
Can you kind of paint a picture for us of what you were experiencing before, and you'd given us a little hint, what you were experiencing before, and then the positive effects of where you are now that you've been on the carnivore diet for 2 years?
Over the years when I had lupus, I was eating everything. I had bad digestive problems. My hair was falling out. My nails was brittle. Skin was not very clear, had no energy, going up and down in my energy. As soon as I cut out the carbs and went full protein and fat, my energy increased. I was able to put weight on, and I was actually able to do a bodybuilding competition strictly on carnivore diet. When people are in the bodybuilding world say you need carbs to build energy, build muscle, I was able to do that just carb-free. And I was able to win my last competition doing that.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
And some studies showed the negative effects of a carnivore diet being digestive issues, joint pain, etc. You said that your digestive issues got better. Do you know of any of the negative aspects of the diet?
There is negative side effects. It is not for everybody. I know a lot of people who have tried it. They tried it for a few weeks. It wasn't for them. So it's just like any diet. There's no diet that will work for everybody. It's something, it might work for you. You might be able to do strictly carnivore, but you need some fruit and vegetables in it as well.
If you had to do a trade-off, would you prefer to live shorter but feel great?
If my lifespan was cut shorter being on the carnivore diet, I would definitely take that because I haven't had so much energy. I feel healthier, stronger. So if I lived a shorter life, being stronger, healthier, and happier, I would take that than living a weaker, less happier life. Absolutely.
Christina, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Athletic superiority? Well, let's look at the evidence. Some influencers insist eating a carnivorous diet makes them stronger, but clinical studies tell a very different story. In 2020, a randomized trial published in Nutrients found that plant-based diets improve endurance and recovery compared to those meat-heavy diets. And the Journal of American College of Cardiology linked red and processed meat with increased cardiovascular disease. So, while some athletes may feel better short-term on the carnivore diet, the science suggests plants are performance boosters, not performance blockers. To tell us more, we brought in Dr. Milton Mills. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Mills. According to your research, I want to know, what diets do you think humans are designed for?
There is absolutely no question that when you look at the accumulated research showing how diets affect our disease risk, our resistance to infection, cancer, chronic disease, and enhance our longevity, that human beings are clearly designed to be herbivores, and that is strict herbivores, not omnivores, herbivores, strict plant eaters. That is the diet that actually confers optimal health on us.
So you think that human beings were designed to be herbivores, but it seems like now the general consensus is going in the opposite direction. Why do you think that's the case?
Because people are easily misled, and with modern media, social media, modern communication methods, there is so much disinformation out in the public that people are just being led astray. There's a lot of money invested in Western countries to get people to eat animal foods because that is the way people make the most money. And you know, money drives most of what happens in our society. So people will make far more money by getting people to eat animal foods than they will getting them to eat plant foods. Now, you might be saying, why would I say that? Because just look at the energy conversion ratio. It takes roughly 25 pounds of feed to put 1 pound of usable flesh on a cow. The conversion ratio for pigs is something like 15 to 17 to 1. For poultry, it's 3 to 5 pounds of feed per 1 pound of usable flesh. So therefore, not only the animal producers are vested in having people buy their product, but so are the people that grow crops, because they will make far more money growing crops to turn around and feed them to animals than if they grew those crops to feed directly to humans. So again, there's just so much investment in the pyramid effect of raising animals for consumption in Western countries that it drives a lot of the marketing and a lot of the ideas that people are taught about what will make them healthy, keep them healthy. But when you look at the science and the research and the medical literature, it shows the exact opposite, that the elimination of animal foods and the adoption of a plant-based lifestyle is what confers optimal health on humans.
So you're saying people have been misled. You talked about the financial aspect as well. You just touched a little bit on the health aspect. So I'm wondering, you're referring to a diet where people are eating animal flesh. The carnivore diet is very popular right now. So I'm wondering, do you think the carnivore diet is naturally deleterious, or is there a way of doing it in a healthy way? And there are also some people doing the carnivore diet raw. Is that more healthy?
Absolutely not. Ingesting raw animal flesh comes with a host of potential health problems, namely parasitic infections, bacterial infections. If you've ever looked at a brain of someone who's got cysticercosis, which comes from eating raw or undercooked pork, that is where worms get into the body and they seed the brain like seeds in a watermelon. And these people develop these large cysts, and if they're not cured, it will kill them. And even if they are caught before it kills the person, these people are frequently left debilitated throughout their lifetime because they have seizures and other things from the damage that's been done to the central nervous system. But it's not just pork that has the risk of transmitting parasitic infections to humans, it's undercooked fish, undercooked poultry, and other types of animal tissue that can be a vector for food-borne illness. And as to why these diets are popular, they're mistaken notions of meat eating and virility. A lot of people seem to think, oh, I'm a carnivore, that makes me a he-man, I'm a caveman, and the more meat I eat, the stronger I am. When again, it is the exact opposite. When you look at the biggest, strongest, most powerful mammals on the planet, terrestrial mammals, they're all plant eaters, every last one of them. There is not a carnivore on this planet that will challenge a full-size, fully grown elephant or rhino because they know they will get trampled to death. And so the plant eaters are always stronger, they have more endurance, stamina, and importantly, they live longer. Carnivores across the board are very short-lived animals. They typically don't live beyond 15 to 20 years of age, and most of them it's much less than that. Whereas the herbivorous mammals live much longer. And when it comes to elephants, their lifespan can rival ours, 60, 70 years or more. So again, they're just these mistaken ideas about what types of diet confer healthful attributes on us. And we know, for instance, meat-eating diets, more prone to cataracts, more prone to erectile dysfunction, will increase your risk for cancer and heart disease. Again, it is incredible the success that agribusiness has had in deceiving people into thinking that eating animal products are healthy for you, but nothing could be further from the truth. And in my opinion, there is no way that a meat-based diet or a carnivore diet can be constructed so that it's healthful. The so-called low-fat meats still have animal fat in them, animal hormones in them, and most importantly, animal protein, which animal protein has been shown definitively to promote cancer development in adult humans. There's no question that that's true. There's a particular 17-year study that looked at thousands of participants and showed that those individuals who had the highest intakes of animal protein had a 400% increase in cancer risk and a 75% increase in the likelihood of dying from any cause. So no, it's not healthy. People are being misled and deceived, but the people who are misleading them, all they want is their money. And once they have their money, they don't care what happens to these individuals. And they're left to deal with the poor health, the years of chronic disability that result from eating a diet that we are not designed to eat at all.
So interesting. I think as a physician, one of your goals ultimately is to reverse disease.
Absolutely.
You mentioned cancer, you mentioned ED, you mentioned heart disease, and ED is like the canary in the coal mine actually for heart disease.
Absolutely.
But there are lots of supposed case studies coming out where people are saying the carnivore diet has actually reversed their autoimmune disease, or the carnivore diet has helped them to sleep because before they suffered from chronic insomnia. So how do you refute these types of cases?
Okay, so what I want to make clear is that they're not studies that support these ideas. They're anecdotal attestations by individuals who say, oh, I started this carnivore diet, now I'm sleeping better, or now this problem has resolved. Number one, I want to say, when it comes to sleeping better, it's been shown that animal food-based diet, meat-based diets deprive the brain of good blood flow, good oxygen, and it may be that these people are just passing out and they think they're asleep, but it's not good quality sleep. So that's number one. Number two, that when you actually look at the actual study data and the long-term data, it shows the exact opposite. So the carnivore diet is just the latest in a string of diets that all encouraged pretty much the same thing. So there was, the low-carb diet, the keto diet. And these are all diets that encourage people to eliminate plant foods and carbohydrates from their diet and adopt a primarily meat and animal fat-based diet. The studies have shown definitively that over time, those diets raise the risk for heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and other metabolic diseases, and they are associated with premature death. And so, somebody like some internet influencer might say, oh, I started this and I feel better. They may think they feel better in the first year or two. Talk to them 10 years down the road. I guarantee you, they will either, if they're still alive, they will have converted to a different diet or significantly modified that diet because there are too many health problems associated with it. There is no question that human beings need plants to be healthy. And we start eliminating plants from our diet and moving on to animal tissue, it creates disease across the board. There's just no question that that's true. Now, you were saying that some of these people who've adopted this type of diet talk about benefits that they notice right away. Well, I think that the reason that the benefits that they're noting is not necessarily coming from the meat they're eating. It's coming from the fact that they've eliminated a lot of the processed carbs, sugar, and chemicals that they had previously been eating when they were addicted to an unhealthy, processed, fast food type diet that most Americans are eating. And certainly if you eliminate those things, you're going to feel better. But the deleterious effects that are associated with high consumption of animal protein and animal fat will start to manifest themselves as these people adhere to this diet, and they will find that they're going to become constipated, they're going to start developing diverticulosis, hemorrhoids, and eventually colon cancer, among other problems, by eating a diet that is built around animal protein. No question.
So if those patients actually did stop eating sugar, etc., and they're getting the benefits, there is one question that comes up when you're talking about a plant-based diet. And that question that comes up regarding a plant-based diet
where you're
is,
going.
Where's the protein?
Right.
So wouldn't a carnivore diet be better for athletes based on the protein content? You mentioned the fat in meat,
right,
but you haven't touched on the protein.
Okay. So absolutely not. Number one, again, people have been misled into thinking that protein is the sine qua non when it comes to nutrients that we should be taking in. The fact of the matter is, humans don't need a lot of protein. Proteins are built.
Doc, come on.
Proteins, yes, no. Again, do the research. Read the actual medical research. High protein diets, as I already mentioned, promote cancer development in humans. They also accelerate kidney dysfunction. They promote heart disease and diabetes. And the fact of the matter is, no matter how much protein you eat in a 24-hour period, your body can only use a small amount of that protein as protein. All of the protein you take in on a daily basis over and above what your body utilizes as protein gets converted into carbohydrate anyway. That's one of the reasons it's so stressful on our kidneys and our liver. So there is no advantage into eating huge amounts of protein. Now, you talked about athletes. Again, remember, the biggest, strongest animals on the planet are all strict plant eaters. When you look at Western civilization, did we hitch our stagecoaches, our wagons, our plows to lions, tigers, and bears? No. We hitched them to oxen and elephants and horses because only they had the strength and stamina to do the kind of work needed to build the civilizations we wanted to live in. So this idea that meat is somehow muscle fuel or it makes you a better athlete is complete gaslighting. And to underscore that, you look at a lot of professional sports teams now, many of them are converting to plant-based diets because they find that it enhances their on-field performance. It extends their effective life as an elite athlete, and it shortens their recovery time so that they actually recover from the exercise bout and are able to do another strenuous bout of exercise much quicker when they're on a plant-based diet. I'm telling you, meat is not good when you're an athlete. You'll perform much better for much longer when you convert to a plant-based diet.
So, does meat make us superior? Let's weigh the evidence and let the chips fall where they may. So, can a diet of only meat lead to superior health? Let's weigh the evidence and find out. Advocates say that the carnivore diet improves digestion. But studies show that fiber is essential for gut health, and a fully carnivore diet is lacking in fiber. Some have claimed that the carnivore diet boosts energy. However, a high meat intake is linked to higher risks of heart disease and cancer. Meat provides both B12 and it provides iron. But plants provide antioxidants that lower inflammation and extend lifespan. Finally, the 2019 Canned Food Guide did not recommend meat as necessary for a healthy, balanced diet. It recommended obtaining protein from plants instead. And so, friends, I am skeptical of recommending the carnivore diet. While it is claimed that a diet of only meat can provide health, the evidence says long-term health and longevity are best achieved with plants on your plate. So, when it comes to your diet, it's good to have a healthy dose of skepticism. With that said, I'm Dr. Nadine Plummer, ND, saying stay selectively skeptical.